Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe, the Powers of Grayskull, Hero, and Eldor from Super 7. That is right, my friends. Finally, official releases of Hero and Eldor. When Super 7 first announced that they were doing brand new retro-styled figures, they showed these off. And these are the ones I have been most excited for. It feels like I've had them on pre-order forever, but they're finally here, and I'm so excited to take a look at these. If you are not familiar with these characters, these were supposed to be released back with the original Masters of the Universe toy line. In fact, the original Masters of the Universe toy line was going to transition into this new toy line called the Powers of Grayskull, where Hero here was going to become the new main character. These got as far as being actual physical prototypes and shown off, but then never released. So I have been drooling over the idea of actually owning these in my collection for years now, and they are a reality. And first of all, look at the amazing packaging here. These are actual recreations of what the Powers of Grayskull packaging was going to look like, and they are gorgeous. So as you can see, Hero comes almost on a deluxe card back here because he's got this huge wizard staff here that's packaged separately off to the side. You'll also notice there's a little booklet packaged behind both Hero and Eldor there, which is really great. I'm going to show you that once we get them opened up. So we've got Eldor, the heroic guardian of the Book of Living Spells. You can see he contains stickers. That's like the little blurb there on his packaging. And then we've got Hero, the most powerful wizard in the universe. Really cool stuff. So, as we flip this around to the backside, we are even treated to the amazing cardback artwork, which we've kind of seen floating around before, but now it is printed beautifully right here on the back of this packaging, complete with all of this amazing information. We've got the little cross cells here on the bottom showing you the Powers of Grayskull stuff like the dinosaurs, which actually did get released. You see, those were going to be part of that Powers of Grayskull lineup there, and those actually did come out, but it's really cool seeing them lined up across the bottom of the box there. We've got some information on the characters as well as their accessories, and we even have these great little illustrations showing you how the action features work. Now, what's really interesting, like this shows a push button action feature for Hero that was probably intended to be on the vintage figure. That is not actually included on this new figure. The staff itself does have an action feature that works very similar to this. But that's just really cool that we still get this perfect recreation of what would have been on the back of the vintage figure packaging. Really, really amazing stuff. So these boxes are beautiful, and they're almost a shame to open up. Except we are going to open these up because I have got to take a closer look at these action figures within. So let's do that. Alright, so we've got our Hero and our Eldor action figures outside of the packages, and before we take a look at the figures themselves, I want to show you guys the amazing little pack-in booklets that comes with each figure. They're very much like the original mini-comics that came with vintage action figures, but you can see this is titled The History of Eldor. And these amazing booklets were put together by the Power and the Honor Foundation, and it contains some really great information on who these characters were going to be, the proposed Power of Grayskull toy line, and there's some really great images in here, including some amazing concept work. So over here you can see this is the original photographed prototype right there that was going to be in that original lineup, and then we've just got all this amazing concept art. Look at this. Look at this wacky concept art, seeing the evolution of what would eventually become Eldor. It's amazing, looking at all of this great artwork. And then, of course, you got the packaging artwork for Titus and Megator, the two giants. Some really amazing stuff there. And, of course, these are like some of the only known images that really got out there. Like this right here was from a knitting set. I remember seeing this floating around online there. Really amazing stuff. And, of course, you get one of those books for Hero as well. The History of Hero. You can see him battling King Hiss there on the front. And it's the same thing. You just got some really great information in here. There is the photograph of that original prototype there. And then you've got this amazing concept artwork just to see the evolution of the character. It's amazing. This is just such a really, really fantastic pack-in bonus. Look at that. Look at that. How cool is that? Dinosaurs and barbarians and wizards, man, I love it. I love it so much. But this is just such an amazing pack-in bonus. I absolutely love these, and I am so glad that they were included. It just really helps make these feel extra special. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the figures themselves. We're going to kick things off by looking at Eldor here. So the figures themselves are in that 5.5 scale, but as you can see, Eldor actually stands almost a full 6 inches tall. That's one thing I kind of noticed with him, with the hood there, and the head looks a little bit bigger as well. He stands a bit taller than Hero and He-Man, which I'll show you guys a little later as we're doing a comparison. So he stands a bit taller than a lot of your standard 5.5 inch action figures, but he does look fantastic. So essentially what Super7 and the Four Horsemen did is they just took the designs of those original figures, but they sculpted brand new figures as far as I know. I don't believe these are from those original prototypes, but they do an amazing job of looking a lot like what we were supposed to get there. And the figures feel fantastic. I mean, the plastic here feels really good. They feel nice and solid. The articulation is real tight on these, which is excellent. Of course, with Eldor there, the way he's made, like this hood is all one sculpted piece with the tunic there, so his head inside does not really turn. He can't really turn his head left and right. I imagine that's a lot like how the vintage figure would have been. But the arms do move up and down at the shoulder, but something that's new here, look at that. He actually has rotating wrists. How cool is that? He does also have the waist twist power punch. So you can see we do have the spring feature there. And then the legs have those kind of new hinge joints there. So it's not like the rubber bands like the vintage figures, but this is also how Hero and Eldor were going to be in the vintage line. They were going to have these new joints there. And these feel real good and real solid. I mean, you can see I'm moving it all around there. I'm spinning it. I'm moving forward and backwards. It doesn't feel like these are too loose or like they're gonna break. Little bit of paint rub on the joints there, but otherwise these feel nice and sturdy and solid. So he stands up very nicely once you find the right balance. Boom, just like that. Very cool stuff. All right, so for his accessory, he comes with the Book of Living Spells, which is massive. You can see how big this thing is. And it actually comes with stickers that need to be applied. So I haven't put them on yet because I wanted to show them to you. But you have these amazing stickers with this very cool classic artwork of Hero, Tyrannosaurus, Bionatops, with He-Man riding on it, and Eldor. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to peel these stickers off and stick them inside of the book like this. So let me go ahead and get that accomplished before we move forward. All right, so the stickers are in place in this thing. So let me show you what the gimmick is with this, because it's supposed to be like a magic book where the pages change. So this is basically what happens, right? You open up the book like so. Boom, just like that, and ooh, look at that. We got these images of Hero and Eldor. Very cool stuff. But then when I close the book up and reopen it, oh, the pictures have changed to Bionatops and Tyrannosaurus. Well, that's because it's actually just like a trifold book. I always wondered how the gimmick was going to be with this, because I always knew it was supposed to be like this magic book. It's really cool. I mean, it works very well being a trifold book like that. Basically, you know, open it up this way, close it. Sleight of hand, ooh, the pictures change. So pretty cool stuff. Now, I imagine that the reason Eldor's hands rotate like this is supposed to be so he can hold this big giant book, but let me tell you, I cannot really find a way to position this so that he can hold it. I haven't been able to figure it out yet, so I don't know if that's something that's just not really designed. I imagine the vintage figure would have probably had the exact same problem. It's just a really big, awkward, oversized book, and it doesn't fit in his hands very well. But man, real fun stuff. Real cool getting to hold this guy in person. Finally, good stuff. So that's gonna bring us to Hero, the shiny gold armor wearing figure, which is so very cool. So this figure stands more at that 5.5 inch scale, and look at him in all his vac metal glory. I am so glad that Super7 went back to the drawing board and actually did the vac metal on there, because there was a moment where it looked like he was going to come out without the vac metal, and that would have been a tragedy, because those original prototype pictures showed him with that vac metal, and that is how I and many other fans wanted to see him released, and they nailed it. This is so amazing. The shiny gold there is just beautiful. You can see how reflective it is. It looks fantastic. It actually feels a lot like the vintage toys that had vac metal on it. I'm real impressed with the plastic here all the way through and through. Just a really, really great looking figure. So he's got this nice cloth cape there. You can see it's got a little band around the front, so it just kind of rests over his neck. Of course, that can be removed just by pulling it up over the head if you want to do that there. But you know, looks great there with the cape. And just, man, he's just such a great looking figure. He's a great representation of this character. He has the power punch as well. His articulation is very basic, like the standard vintage Masters of the Universe figures. He doesn't have the wrist swivels like Eldor. He does have those same kind of new hinge joints there at the thighs, which you can see. So the legs can go forwards and backwards and slightly in and out. And again, nice sturdy joints on these guys. I don't have any issues here. Nice and tight. He stands really good. Just a very cool looking figure. Now, as I mentioned, the back of the box showed that there was like a push button here that made his arm spring forward. So that's been omitted. And, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with that. So he's just a regular posable figure like many of our vintage action figures were from the Masters of the Universe line. So he comes packaged with his wizard staff here. And this is a neat accessory because this does have a bit of an action feature. Basically, by pressing the green gem, it closes up the staff. But when you lift it up, it folds back open. So the gimmick was supposed to be, you know, Hero's arm would jut forward, which would cause this thing to open back up. It's a really neat looking staff. There's this neat little kind of speckle design on there, which I'm not sure is coming through because it's like a dark gold colored plastic, but there's like this black, almost speckle mixed in there. And then of course the gem on top is a nice translucent green, so it looks really, really great. And yeah, pressing the gem springs that all closed. You can see there's a little handle there on the inside, so that can clip to Hero's gripping hand here just like that. And now we've got our Hero holding on to his wizard staff. Check that out. So we gotta bring in a vintage figure here for comparison. We can stand He-Man in here alongside him just to see how these figures look alongside that vintage He-Man action figure. Now, the direction was much different. So these guys were definitely gonna stand out amongst some of your other characters like He-Man, but there's a lot of characters in that line. I mean, as the line went on, they definitely got more designed like this. And I think it looks fantastic. It's so amazing putting Hero and Eldor alongside my vintage figures and lining them up finally after all these years of always wanting these characters. You could put them with the dinos, you can build out the Powers of Grayskull collection that actually did get released, which is pretty amazing in itself. I really think Super7 and the Four Horsemen and the Power and Honor Foundation really put together an amazing package with these two figures here. The packaging is awesome, the insert there with all of that great concept info is fantastic, and the figures themselves are really well designed. It is so cool getting to add these figures to my collection after all those years of just seeing those prototype photos on the internet. This is my favorite thing Super7 has done with their vintage style toy line so far, and I would love to see more prototype characters like this to really expand our vintage Masters of the Universe collection. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at the brand new Hero and Eldor action figures from the folks at Super7. These were available by pre-order through Super7's website, but you can probably still find them at online retailers that are carrying the line. So happy hunting, my friends. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment to let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.